Wow, that fucking stinks.
What stinks?
I burp.
Good.
Yeah, really bad.
I'm going to keep them coming.
Fuck. I can build up on that. I can
build up what?
Yeah, both.
Both ends? You can burp out of both ends?
I can fucking shit on command.
I don't doubt that at all. I've seen it. You don't even care if you poop your pants. No, you could care less.
I'll just go home and have a bath. It's fine.
Yeah. You guys good on?
Are we rolling?
Rolling, yeah, been rolling for a while.
Sorry.
My brain always thinks that things are possible. I always think that. And it's not going to change in me.
23 years in Strongman, that's insane. No major injuries. Yeah. Pretty impressive.
When you actually work hard at something over a long period of time, you can get better. I can honestly say I'm not there right at this moment, but also improvements are being made every single day. 2 cans of tuna and orange juice and just blend it up and slam
That's dirty.
It's you don't want to smell it.
That's dirty. You must have been bigger than the teachers.
I was like in first grade almost as big as my teacher.
The Good, the Bad, and the Beast podcast with Eddie Hall.
Whose idea was it to give you this setup and let you try to have a podcast?
Some fucking idiot.
It's not a good choice. Okay.
So luckily,
if you want to get started,
luckily we've got editors.
You're now wasting my time.
Protect the world from my point of view.
If you could get started, like maybe come out with the first question or say hi everybody. Here we go. It's the Beast podcast.
Clearing my throat, Brian. Just
anytime you want to try to start would be wonderful. Yeah, it's really good in the microphone. Everybody loves that sound.
Okay.
Anytime you want to start,
okay.
Edward.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Good, the Bad, and the Beast. Today I have one of the, if not the greatest strongman that has ever lived. It's 4 times World's Strongest Man, multiple Arnold Classic Strongman, and God knows how many world records that he holds. That including one of the world's biggest head, Mr. Brian Shaw.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Glad to be here, man. This is fun. Little podcast setup with Mr. Eddie Hall.
With my BFF.
Yeah. Are you nervous?
Very nervous.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nervous.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah. Spending some time over here in the UK. You've been very accommodating to me. I have to compliment you on it. You've cooked for me.
Mm-hmm.
You've given me great accommodations. Like it's been really nice. Like I was kind of worried coming over, like, oh, you were like, stay with me. And I'm like sleeping on a couch or something, like just sleep out in the garden, you know.
The trip.
But it's been good, man.
The trip's still early. So
it is.
It could get very bad.
It probably depends on how this conversation goes.
Yeah.
The rest of the outcome.
It could go very downhill from here.
Could it?
So be good.
Okay.
I always ask a guest to bring me a piece of the beast, I like to call it. And it can be, as we know, I asked you, an artifact, a picture, something that just means something to you. Did you bring it?
Well, it's too big to bring.
Too big to bring.
Too big to bring.
What have you got me?
I couldn't pack it on. So I was thinking about this when you brought this up, and I think it's fascinating. But this is actually a picture of the sewing machine that I bought, and I would have bought this in probably 2008, like around that time.
Okay, so it's around about the time you started Strongman.
So 2008 was my first World's Strongest Man.
Okay.
So I started Strongman in 2005.
Right.
But the plan with the sewing machine was for the stones.
Are you going to show me, or are you just going to?
I thought I showed you. No, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, look at me set at that.
Lovely. So this is
it wasn't customized for size.
For those listening in, this is a picture of Brian Shaw sat in like an extra wide boy chair.
Yeah, I got that chair after. I didn't always have that.
That's a big chair.
Yeah.
Literally with a lamplight with him sewing something on a
Yeah,
sewing
the
machine.
lamp is built into the sewing machine.
Oh, is it? That's fancy.
So it's a commercial. It's a
Wow.
commercial sewing machine, like
Wow.
not a joke. Yeah.
So tell me about this sewing machine.
Yeah.
Why did you have a sewing machine?
So I had the sewing machine, and I was getting into that before you rudely asked to see the picture.
Well, you didn't even you're talking about the picture,
and I didn't.
but you didn't show me the picture. So now I've seen the picture.
Yeah,
you
you
can
could
talk about the picture.
Thank you.
Carry on.
I'm trying to start. If you could just stop.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Go.
All right. So I was going to contests, loading Atlas stones, and I saw some of the European guys wearing like some type of covering for their forearms and whatever. And I actually, for whatever reason, my skin, and I don't know if it's something in the concrete or what, but I would get like a really bad, not just like a stone rash where you would kind of get some abrasion, but it would actually kind of like break out, like have like more of a like a rash from the stone. And so I was like, well, I need to cover my forearms with something. And then I went a little bit deeper and I was like, well, I sweat a lot in humidity, especially. And at that time, we were traveling a lot for competing. So you'd go to a lot of hot, humid climates. And, you know, I'm sure you've experienced like mixing tacky with sweaty, hot skin. It doesn't do well, right? Like you're kind of shot. So I was like, well, if I can create a sleeve for my arm, now the fact I'm sweaty doesn't matter anymore. And I have a good surface to put the tacky on. It's going to help me lift stones better. So then I went down this rabbit hole of like, how am I going to create this? What am I going to do? So I went to a leather shop and started asking some questions because they had like the hides. You could buy like a whole, cow hide, whatever. But there's different, when you start going down that rabbit hole, there's different grades of leather, like different, the grain of the leather, the thickness of it, like how much it conforms, So I went down this hole and they were like, well, if you're going to sew this, you need to have a commercial sewing machine, like an industrial one that could get through leather. So like, all right, well, I don't know how to sew, but I need this sewing machine, right? So I'm gonna just go buy. So I was like, hey mom, because she had done some sewing when we were kids. I was like, can you go with me to the sewing machine store, like kind of give me the basics, and we'll buy a sewing machine, right? And I didn't have a lot of money at that time, so I was like, all right, well, we're going to go invest in this sewing machine. So it's like built into a table and it's got a lamp and, the threads kind of set up on the side and it feeds in the machine. And I didn't know anything. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do that. And just kind of I taught myself how to sew, right, to make these things. And then I started developing the prototypes and I would take them to training and test them. And then I would test different types of leathers, see what was best. And kind of got to a point where I pretty much perfected it for myself and my training partners. Then I started eventually selling them to other, strongmen. I made you a custom pair that your arms were actually very difficult to fit because they were super thick, like a lot of muscle, but the length of your forearm compared to how quickly it tapered was a really tough one. So for yours, for example, like I took the measurements, cut the leather specific to your arm, and then sewed it completely for your arm. Wow. Like nobody else would have got that. So it's like yours were special, right? So
they felt special.
Yeah.
Right?
And you, so it was just something I got into, but it was kind of like the entrepreneurial side of what I was trying to do with business. But then more so, like it's me trying to have the right tools to perform in the sport. And so they worked super well. Yeah. I kind of went on and I did some other special ones for me for the super heavy stones that I lifted out of, actually made them with kangaroo leather.
Right.
So kangaroo leather is the strongest.
More durable.
It's the strongest in the world.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, wow. It's ridiculous. So it's paper thin, but if I were to give you a piece of kangaroo leather, like let's just say like the width of a shoelace, it would be impossible for you to rip it.
Really?
Impossible.
That's interesting.
It is ridiculous strong, but
so you made a special pair of kangaroo leather in the end.
I did. Well, several of them. Yeah. For the super heavy stones that I lifted. So
for those that aren't particularly clued up with World's Strongest Man and Strongman, we would lift huge round concrete balls that weighed upwards of 300 pounds, like 140 kilo. World's Strongest Man go to like 210 kilo, 440 pounds, thereabouts. You have lifted much bigger, close to 300 kilo.
Yeah, the biggest one I did in training was 629 pounds.
Wow.
So I had that custom made
That's
for
jeez.
me,
Yeah,
but that was so far above what the world record was at that time. Like it was so far. It was like, and they pulled that. And then this is a whole different conversation, but they pulled that event out of the Arnold, like with the heavy stone.
We'll get to that stuff.
Yeah,
We'll get to that
but
stuff.
you know, that's what I mean. I had that, you know, so that's 300 kilos would be 660, so 15 off of that.
Okay, so
So it'll be
285 kilos.
286.
That's insane.
So yeah, man, it was fun, but like I liked the experimenting with the sewing machine, and then I went further into you probably remember the belt that I had, but I took that completely apart, took all the stitching out of it, and redid the entire belt.
Wow.
I redid that with knee wraps actually. So like everybody had the belt, but the side straps are just nothing.
Crap.
Right. So I was like, well, I'm going to take those out. And I cut up knee wraps. I sewed them in. I reinforced the entire thing. So it was stronger.
And so you made your own weightlifting belts?
Completely.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just kept experimenting with that. So
the sewing machine's quite important in your career then, really.
Yeah.
So these little things. So like I was saying, so these sleeves is on about, you lift out the stones and you put like tree sap, like tacky on your arms. And then you'd basically grip the Atlas stone like you're hugging it, pull it into your chest, and lift it onto an Atlas stone plinth. But as you say, people would rip skin off, get rashes, get infections, loads of stuff. So you created your own sleeves to fit the size of your forearm. And yeah, you did actually make me my own custom pair, which I was very thankful for, because I spent months and months and months trying to find decent Atlas stone sleeves, couldn't find them. And then you made me a pair, 2015, 16, something like that.
It must have been. And, you had them in, for sure you had them in 15.
Yeah, I know I did.
In Malaysia.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I used those sleeves.
So it must have been 14. I don't know, whatever.
So those sleeves, I mean, you probably shot yourself in the foot there, Brian. Those sleeves ultimately were used at the World's Strongest Man final where me and you did a showdown, mate. But you beat me on the stones that year, to be fair. So. But
yeah, you did. But I mean, 15 like that, for example, like the interesting part of that final was actually top 3 places in the stones were me, you, and Mike Burke. All of us wearing the same stone sleeves, because I made it for all of us. And the tacky that I brought.
That's true.
So it's like, not bad.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's pretty cool. So a sewing machine's pretty much made your career successful in a way.
It played a role, man. I mean, like I said, the other supportive gear, like the belt, that was the foundation of the belt. Essentially, we sell now with Evolution Athletics. So I took it as a prototype, and I said, well, look, this is amazing, right? We have to, and that took again probably a year and a half of prototyping before I could get somebody to manufacture that for us. So that's a belt that we sell now with Evolution Athletics. So
right, cool.
That's where it came from, man, is that sewing machine. A lot of things. So I keep it in the office. Just kind of against the wall. I still use it for certain things. But it's just kind of a reminder of like, all right, like that was
humble beginnings.
That was a big part of the start. I spent a lot of hours in front of that thing, especially when I was selling the sleeves.
Yeah.
Because they were custom made by me.
Yeah.
Right. So you get like, it would take me a lot of time to sew them.
I can imagine.
So, yeah.
Nice. You're from Colorado. Are you there, born Colorado?
Born and raised. Yeah. Yep. I was born and raised in Colorado.
And Colorado, is it Fort Upton? Is that where you're from? Or is that where you live now?
So Fort Lupton was my hometown growing up.
Right.
And we're actually close to where that's at, but the town is called Brighton now.
Brighton.
Yeah.
And that's what, 5,000 foot up in the air?
A mile high,
above sea level?
It's just, I think Brighton is right around a mile high, so 5,200 feet. And then like if you go up in the mountains, it goes much higher than that.
Yeah, wow.
Like our, we have a place up in Estes Park, and that's like just under 10,000 feet above sea level. So
that's crazy. That's high.
Yeah, really.
The air gets thin up there.
Oh yeah. So I did a good amount of training up there for that reason. Yeah.
So you've been born in I would say tough conditions in that respect, because there's a lot less oxygen, like a mile high. Than there is
I mean, you get used to it.
Yeah, of course. But I think that's never really thought about that. That's like a big. advantage when you're coming back down to sea level events,
Massive.
and your oxygen intake's way more. Like it's got to be 10% better.
Yeah. This is why so many athletes will go there to train, especially like fighters, cyclists, runners.
So they'll travel high up in Colorado just to get the acclimatized training.
I think the Olympic training center is in Colorado Springs.
That makes sense.
So that's a couple hours away from us. But a lot of athletes they'll train in Boulder with the cycling or running, like this type of stuff. So you train at elevation and then you go down.
Yeah.
Which for me, I think it was a big advantage in recovering.
Yes.
So like I could, for example, pull a truck, get my heart rate up to a maximum, and then it would come down immediately. So like it's just the recovery, especially once you're competing at a lower elevation, game over. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Born 1982, February 26, 1982. What's that mean? 43? 43 this year?
43 this year. Yeah.
I turned it. Yeah. Brian.
Yeah.
Getting old, man.
Yeah.
Getting old.
4 is my favorite number. So 44 is going to be a good.
Okay.
Real good.
6'8".
Great even, possibly.
Great. Just so you know, Brian Shaw's going to say great a lot. This interview.
Greatness.
Great.
Yep.
Greatness, yeah.
Very good.
6'8" currently now, and you're hovering around the 400-pound mark.
Yeah.
Do you know how heavy you were born?
I wasn't that heavy when I was born. I was pretty normal, like 8 pounds.
8 pounds. That's, considering how big you are now, that's quite.
Yeah,
quite
but
normal.
I think my mom said I was over 20 pounds at 3 months. So like I packed it on quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're like a toddler at 3 months old.
I was pretty big. Yeah.
Mom and dad, are they quite big? I think I've met your mom and dad, but tell us. Your mom's quite a tall.
Yeah, almost 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
My mom is. So, and then my dad is probably 6'1", and I've got big uncles on both sides. So it's kind of like, one of my uncles like 6'4", 6'5", but on both sides. So I think it kind of just came together.
So you got a big family. And how tall is your dad?
It's like 6'1".
Oh, okay. So your dad's not that tall.
Not super tall, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But like his brother is like 6'5".
Yeah, so it's sort of been inherited from the
interesting.
gene pool.
Yeah, it's
that
interesting. Yeah.
So a 6 foot lady and a 6'1" man has generated a 6'8" giant.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is dead interesting. Growing up, was it just sport from the get-go, being the size you
almost
were?
Immediately?
You must have been just a generally much bigger child from the get-go.
Much bigger. Yeah. Sports. I love competition just in general. So as a kid, of course, you got like youth sports and youth competition, that you get into. And I love that. Loved, the challenge of it. I love the competing. And it's one of those things like I was bigger. My mom literally had to carry around my birth certificate to prove that I was in the age category.
Are you joking?
No, not joking.
So you could play with other kids your age.
Yep. Yeah.
Imagine turning up to a basketball contest or something and it's like, nah, your kid's not 10. He's 20. Have you got proof?
Literally here it is. Here it is. Pull it up.
So she'd carry it with her just for that reason.
It would come up a lot.
So when you go to theme parks and restaurants where you get discounts for if you'd say under 10, you get a discount, you would get quizzed to hell on that.
Probably. Yeah. The funny part is this gonna sound bad.
Under 10s eat free. There's no chance he's 10.
My mom and I actually used to. She would pick out what she wanted to order, right, and then we would swap. As when I was a kid, because I wanted to eat more food, so I would get the adult meal and she would eat one of the kids' meals,
right?
Just because she's like, I don't want to eat that much, and I'd be like, I want that, and then we'd order separate, But it was fun, man. It was fun just being bigger.
Give me some context. Do you remember how big you were when you were 10 years old? Rough height,
see, 10.
Rough weight.
What grade is that? That's probably what is that? 4th, 5th grade.
So in our
13.
country, that'd be year 6. So just before high school.
So probably just before. So I went into high school at 225 pounds.
Oh my God!
When I walked in to high school.
My Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So I was.
That is fucking ridiculous.
I was big.
Fuck, Brian.
Yeah.
100 kilos.
Yeah.
Wow.
In. So
you must have been bigger than the teachers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
At 10 years old,
I was
years old.
I was in 1st grade, almost as big as my teacher. Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's obscene.
Yeah.
Imagine going into high school. Like,
Yeah.
you could have beat up the headmaster, like,
Yeah.
straight away.
I got up in high school, I got up to almost 300 pounds. In high
Fucking
school.
hell.
Yeah.
So what's high school in the States? 17, 16?
You graduate typically at 18.
18.
Yeah. But that would have been when I was 16, 16, probably was
Wow.
300 pounds. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 16 years of age. You were
Almost.
300 pounds, 6'8" then? Or-
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was the height I am now. Well, actually, I would say I'm shorter now probably than I was because, you know, all
you
the
shrink over the years with lifting
Well,
weights,
dude,
definitely.
people don't understand. You put you put almost 1,600 pounds on your back and
Yeah.
do a training cycle. Like it's, I don't know. But
Think things
so
out.
I'm not, I don't think I'm actually like 6'8" now, maybe with shoes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was that then and
That's scary.
almost
man.
300. But that was before I really found, I had just kind of started training a little bit, but I wasn't like very serious about it. So I actually went from that and then got into much better shape, got stronger,
Yeah.
you know, and then I actually dropped down in weight to be better with basketball because I was
Okay.
just too heavy.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, I needed to be more athletic and all that. So that played in well, like dropping weight and training and all that. So
I can't get over that, Brian. 300 pounds. So 140 kilo-ish, 145 kilo, thereabouts, 300
Yeah.
pounds. Put it in stones for the English guys. 24 stone. It's 16. 24 stone, 6'8".
probably,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, around, you're probably a touch high, but that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm 25 and a half stone now, and I'm like a big man.
Yeah.
And so you're only like 8 kilo lighter than me at 16. It's
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely crazy. So talk us about your first sports then. So was that when basketball began? Around about that age?
Yeah, I played basketball from when I was a kid.
Right,
So
okay.
I mean, you could do it like in the rec center, and then you start more organized basketball in 7th, 8th grade, and then 9th through 12th is like.
So what pulled you in? Was it brothers or friends, or what began your basketball? Because you had quite a decent basketball career.
Yeah, I was always interested with basketball. I liked it. That was kind of my favorite sport from early on. So, you know, I watched it, different college games, pro games, all that. And so I was very much into just the game in general.
Mm.
And then it also so happened that our town that I grew up in was very focused on the basketball team. So, you know, the whole community kind of supported the basketball team, and it was kind of, you
Nice.
know, everybody looked forward to it. And as a kid, you would go to the games.
It's
And
like a weekend kind of thing to do. in
yeah,
town,
Friday
right?
night or whatever, like you're going to the basketball game. The whole town kind of supported what was going on, which was pretty cool. So as a kid, you go to a game like that and see the older guys out there playing, and you're like, all right, I want to do that. You know, like I want to be there. You know, like
Yeah,
where
cool.
everybody's kind of excited about it. So that drew me in. But I love basketball for the fact that I could practice by myself. I could put more work in by myself. I didn't need to rely on other people. So if I wanted to go out and shoot and you know, dribble, do different moves, work on different things, I could do it all by myself. And I could just get lost in that. You know, for me, it was my outlet. It was fun for me, and I liked the challenge of it. So I think all those factors combined, and I enjoyed the game as well. So that made it fun.
So you started your basketball career as such around about the end of high school era, would you say?
Well, I mean, at that point, I was getting recruited to go play in college.
What sort of level were you? You were playing in high school. That was just
Yeah.
like a high school level.
Yep.
And then you get to college and you start getting people like looking at you, talking about you, wanting to come play for their team. Talk us through that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you get recruited in high school if you're good enough. You get recruited to go to college.
Right.
So then it's just like, what offers are you getting?
What does that mean? Does that mean they pay for your college tuition,
If you-
scholarships?
Yeah. So they'll have so many, what would be called a full ride
Yep.
scholarship. So you're getting all your school taken care of, tuition, room, board, all the other stuff is all free basically. So you go there and play basketball in return for a free education.
Wow.
So that was really my goal. I mean, in all fairness, and you know, one of the big things that I set for myself in and around when I was 10, it was about 10 years old. I made a note, and I had essentially read a book or heard somebody say, like, if you have a goal and something you want to achieve, you have to write it down. So you can't just say it, you need to write it.
Yeah.
And so I wrote that down and kept it in a drawer at my parents' house. And that was what was kind of my guiding light, my focus of getting that done. Cause I was like very, very motivated to earn that scholarship to get my school taken care of, and my parents weren't super well off. So I was like, well, if I can get my whole college paid for, how good would that be? And it's, something that was a driving force for me,
Definitely.
mainly the competitiveness, I would say, for me was what it was. And I wanted to prove it. So
Did you get the scholarship?
I did.
So you got your education paid for
100%.
college?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All the way through. Yeah. It was fun, man. It was, the level goes up very quickly when you go to the next level. And that's with anything. But, you think every single player, when you walk into a college team, every single player on that team now was the best player on their high school team.
Yes. So
right.
They're the best of the best.
The best. You just go, and then it would be the same thing when you go to the pro level.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about all of the best players of every college team, and probably not every best player of every college team.
Yeah.
Makes it so it's a very, very rare era to be in. So it's the very small percentage go to college, right, and then a very, very small percentage go pro. So it just gets harder and harder as you go up.
How far did you get to then?
College. Yeah, I
college.
got I got asked to kind of try out for some stuff overseas a little bit, right? Like, and that was probably more just a vague offer of like, hey, do you want to come try? And I was like, once I was done with my college basketball, I was done though. I was like, my second coach that I had, just not a good guy, and wasn't fun to play for, wasn't fun to be around, and it was very much turned into a job for me, which was unfortunate because I loved it. Yeah. And he kind of took my love for the game away.
Yeah.
So when we finished our last game, I put the basketball down and I didn't play.
Very, very similar to myself. I was a national level swimmer, high level swimmer, and a coach got persuaded by someone to change his ways and it became military. And I love swimming. My aspirations would be an Olympic champion swimmer, and this coach ruined it for me. So I feel you, man. Someone squashes that joy, and you feel trapped. You can't just jump another club and carry on. So it's so that was the end of your basketball career, really. A bad coach sort of stamped all over it.
Well, I'm not saying, it's one of those things where I think I can admit that I was much more of like a football player build playing basketball, right? Like I was super physical. There's, a lot of different things that happened, several different situations where I knocked guys out, like on the court.
Just basketball?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just by setting screens.
Wow.
So I'd set a screen and they'd run into me just like a brick wall, hit a brick wall and fall down. And
so you're obviously much more heavier set than the other basketball players. Would you say?
I just was solid.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was training at that point and I was like,
training weights.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, once I started training with weights, I didn't stop.
So when did you start training with weights?
It was probably 13, 14.
Wow. That early. What got you into that? Was that good coaching advice or just something you took on yourself, an older brother or what?
I would say that I was interested in it. I was interested in it and I wanted to do it.
What drew you in? Bodybuilding, strongman? Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman. There's always something that pulls you into that.
Of course you see the magazines, right? Like, and I was like, all right, I want to train, but I would say that genuinely the focus was basketball because I knew that I had to be a better athlete and the avenue was lifting weights and training. So if I wasn't doing that, like, yes, I was athletic enough and whatever, but I was never going to make it to the next level unless I started training with weights. I mean, you're of course following much more of like a bodybuilding type of thing, right? When you get in there initially. And that's everybody pretty much does that. It's like bench press and curls and, like stuff you can see in the mirror. So
it's crazy though. Like a 13, 14-year-old kid going, I'm going to set a difference here, make myself different for everybody else and be a strong basketball player. Yeah. So you took that upon yourself.
And even in college, 14. Man, there's not a lot of guys that I played with that really lifted weights.
Yeah.
Because the thought process was it would mess up your shot. Right. So you spend so much time shooting.
Yeah.
Hundreds of shots a day more. Right.
So would people like use that? Would the team use that to their advantage? Like you were that big and strong, they'd throw the ball to you to about like bounce people off and stuff.
I mean, you could do it to a certain extent. Obviously, there's fouls involved, right? Like you can't be too. You could be physical to a certain point, but you can't really go past that too much. Only in certain circumstances, right? Like I mean, but there's there's just different things that that I did and yeah, I mean, even to the point where one time I broke a guy's back in playing basketball.
You broke a guy's back, as in like snapped, paralyzed, hospital job.
I don't think. I hope he didn't get paralyzed.
Fully recovered. You didn't care to check up.
Well, they took him out on a stretcher. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was just a loose ball.
Wow.
So I mean, here's the thing, man. It's like,
so did he run into you? Did you run into him?
No, like think if the ball's on the court. So loose ball is just when
it's on the floor.
It's somebody, you got to go get it, right?
Yeah.
And this was my thing. I loved, right? So like I would go after a loose ball harder than anybody, right? So it's on the ground, I'm coming, right?
So you would full on NFL style go for that ball.
I'm diving. Oh, for sure. It's going in the stands. I'm going in the stands. So this guy just so happened, we're both coming, right? He happened to get there just before I did, but I'm already pretty much committed.
Yeah.
And I hit him so hard. So
broke his back.
Broke his back, yeah.
You horrible bastard, Brian.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't fully intentional.
Of course it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not very wise. Not very nice, was it, that?
Yeah.
Poor boy. How old was he?
In college. I don't know.
So you broke the back of a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah. Like I said, unintentional. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
I feel, are we in a judgment
No,
zone?
I'm just
like,
I've made a judgment in my head. I'm sure
of course you have. I can see by your tone and the look on your face that you're trying to
pretty disappointed in you, Brian. You just broke somebody's back.
Okay. I'm trying to tell you interesting stories for your podcast.
Okay. Let's move on.
If you could just roll with me a little bit.
I'm trying.
Keep it a judgment free
talking about paralyzing people. And anyone else you paralyzed in your life, or is that the only one?
No, I'm looking at somebody that I would like to. It's good.
So where do we go from there? What got you basketball? Finished college? Did we go uni? Where do we go?
That is university.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So
college is, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. We call college and uni here.
And how's that different?
Well, because college is, you go to college and then you finish college and then you go to a university. They are two different things.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we've got a proper education system here.
So university would be what? Like graduate school?
18 onwards. 18 to say 21, 22, something like that.
And what age is college?
17 to 18. Well,
so it's a 2-year thing.
Yeah, 2-3 year thing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Just saying. So college/uni.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there? We sort of finish off the basketball because of this bad coach. And then we get into, what did you do your studying on?
Mine was actually a mix between exercise physiology and business.
Okay.
So it was like a composite degree that I went into. So I was fascinated by both. I was fascinated by training.
Pretty fitting because you've pretty much dominated both. So
yeah, it was good, man. It was good. I mean, like I said, I had a genuine interest in both of those areas, and I found a degree that combined both, where I was able to take courses in both. And so I think it worked out really well. I liked it. You know, I mean, I really definitely, I would say, with as much as like the coach, for example, at that university, just him and I didn't see eye to eye, whatever. The professors.
Have you got any words for that coach right now?
He knows.
He does?
I had words for him at the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't lose sleep over it for sure, but
good.
But he knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit, just so you know. Brian will tell me afterwards what a piece of shit you were, I'm sure.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
So where do we go from there then? How do we get into Strongman?
So I went down the path of, I wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach. So I thought, well, what better career that could I possibly go into than essentially working with athletes to get them bigger, stronger, more athletic, more prepared to go on their athletic field and do what they want to do, right? Because that was essentially for me what opened the door, was lifting and training and all of that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it to the level that I did in basketball for sure. So I thought, well, that's what I'm going to study for. That's what I'm going to get certified in. That's what I'm going to do. And so you kind of go down that path and open those doors. And once I got the door open, which is very difficult to do, it's a very highly competitive job space because a lot of people want to go into that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and again, at the top level, you only have so many universities, right? So if you're talking top level college programs, only so many and only so many spots on the roster. And so it's, it's a tough job to be in, and also, at least at that time, not paid very well at all, right? So I got into, an unpaid internship, for example, and I'm going into debt. I'm trying to chase this dream and, like make it all happen, but it was not, it's not ideal, right? And I kind of got the door open, and I was, offered a graduate assistant position, which was, again, a very minimal kind of salary. And then you're studying, right? So you're going on to get, because you do need to get your master's degree to move on and go higher up in that field.
So you've got your master's degree?
I don't. I never finished it.
Okay.
So I got into it and just started really thinking about my life and where I wanted to go. And this is a thing where if I would have got my master's degree, you're coming out starting as an assistant strength coach, maybe making 30 grand a year, like 28 to 30 grand. It's like literally minimal money, minimal money. Like you almost couldn't even survive. Yeah. But then also on top of that, you're talking a lot of times 100+ hours a week or more, right? Because that's just the demands of the job. So now your personal life is shot. Any type of goals of me having a family kind of compromised to a certain extent. So it's just all these things started adding up. But I would say more so than anything was the fact that I wasn't ready to be done as an athlete. I still felt like I had more to achieve. Yeah. Right. So I think that was kind of I wasn't ready to be in the coach's role. Yeah. I loved it. I feel like I was very good at it when I was doing it, but also, and I think I could have had a future in it for sure, but it just wasn't like you have something inside of you saying, all right, I've got more to achieve.
Weren't satisfied with that.
So you did a lot. I needed a competitive outlet. Let's just put it that way. I needed something for me to compete.
So how long did you do that for? Obviously, this is why it's training weights. You were a strength and conditioning coach, coaching people. How long did that go on for?
Well, I walked away from that program. So I was at Arizona State University. And that's where I was under Joe Ken, met a lot of people there. Yeah. And he very much influenced my strongman career and training, kind of laid the foundation. So I'm super thankful for that, without a doubt, because I think he helped me to really have a good foundation to build on. But really from there, man, it was like I kept working in that field for a certain amount of time. After leaving there, I went back to Colorado and
how long? Just give me a period. How long were you doing that for?
Not long, because it was just an internship. No, not even a year.
Not even a year.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then back home.
And back home, and then just went back to work. I actually started working with my brother in something completely different.
What was
just
that?
Going to the gym, HVAC test and balance.
Okay.
So it's like all the in a commercial building, like all the air outlets.
Yeah.
They're spec'd out to have a certain amount of air come out of them. And then there's different, exhaust systems that are in the building. So you're not installing them, but you're testing them and balancing them. Okay. Right? So you have to the building has to work. And then if there's a fire that happens, there's certain airflow things so it was a completely different field, man. But I'll tell you what, it was a good way to earn money at that time. And I could do it and I could still get to the gym. Later on, it started becoming more of a problem because you do have to climb a ladder with it. And I did not fit. That was probably the biggest thing because a lot of times you have to go through the ceiling. So you have a ceiling panel you take out. And I just couldn't
you mean as in you did not fit as in you could not fit in the areas.
Physically.
Not fit as in the environment.
No. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you couldn't, you were too big to do that job ultimately.
It was not ideal to be big doing that, no, because you couldn't get in tight spaces.
I couldn't imagine you crawling in my attic space and trying to fix an aircon unit or something.
No. So I did that. I did that for, gosh, I don't know, probably a couple years, and then got back into training people once I kind of started with strongman. And I started doing strongman though when I was working with my brother doing that.
And what year was that, mate? How old were you?
2005.
2005. So you
So I was 20.
23?
Yeah, probably right around there.
23. Okay.
Yeah.
So you started strongman at 23. Amateur.
Yeah, probably 20. Yeah, around that age.
What's your
23,
experience
24. Yep.
of getting into it then? Because the amateur route's very hard at first.
Mm.
The routes back then were very wishy-washy. Like there was no direct route to World's Strongest Man. How the hell do you qualify for America's Strongest Man? It's
Sure.
a minefield.
Yeah.
Talk us through that. Like what were your first few contests like? And
I mean, they back then in the States, at least, they had different levels of amateur contests. So you would go to like a silver level contest, a gold level contest, and a platinum. And the weights went up progressively. So you were able to kind of jump into a gold contest or silver contest, and there would be the same events but lighter weights.
gotcha.
So you'd go in and be like, all right, I'm going to compete in this. This is the level. And then you would kind of know what you're up against. And then you'd kind of graduate from that to go to the next level and the next level. And then as you go up, it just gets heavier and heavier. So then, a platinum contest, or they had at that time called pro-ams, where the pros would compete with the amateurs, and then the top placing amateur would turn pro.
Right.
So there was in the States at least, there was a pro system.
So there was a decent system there.
Yeah,
to follow.
I mean, you could follow along and build up, and then you would essentially just enter the contest.
We didn't have that in the UK
Yeah.
at all. You would have to like just on your own back go and enter England's Strongest Man. Hope you get an invitation.
Got it.
Go and compete and hope you win.
See, that's
And then off the back of that, you'd hope you get invited to UKs, and off the back of that, you'd hope you get invited to World's.
But there's
Strongest
no
Man.
way to directly.
There is now,
Yeah.
but back then, no. There was no
wasn't,
direct route. Yeah, official strongman is the route now.
Some of the bigger stuff for sure. There was a way to qualify to get to America's Strongest Man. Like
Right.
you'd have to earn your pro card, so you'd have to go through the system that way. And then even 1 year, I mean, there was like actually qualifiers to get to America's Strongest Man. So it was open to anybody that had a pro card.
Right, cool.
You'd go compete, you placed high enough, you earned enough points, whatever it was, then you move on. So, but it was never super easy. Like I had to research it, how to get in, where to go, so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, everybody knows this. Nope.
Yeah. And the internet was a different thing back then as well.
You're trying to research it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I was able to figure out the course, but I mean, the truth is, you keep going to contests and you keep doing well, you're going to level up, and then more people are going to notice. And that's, I mean, getting to the bigger contests for sure is an invitation type of model, so but you have to show up and you have to perform. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. So,
yeah. So you turned pro in 2006. Does that mean you won one of the platinum shows and then America's Strongest Man?
Pro-am. So I went quick, right? So like October, it's probably like October of 2005 was my very first contest. Then I competed in, so the October, November, maybe like the next month I competed in my second one. I won those first two. And then I went to like what's considered the pro-am level. So I was like, well, if I'm doing good at these, we'll just jump into those.
Yeah.
But this is with also no equipment to train with. No, my gear was minimal. Like it was just like,
so just gym dumbbells and squat racks and deadlifts, and that's it.
That's it completely. So, I'm walking in, to that level. But I mean, at that time, a pro-am would be weights that would be at like World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
So it's like big time,
heavy.
So I mean, like in my first pro-am, for example, is like a 410 kilo yoke, like jumping into it. And
that's fair. That's gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like my second yoke I ever picked up.
Wow.
I did one in one of the other contests at 300 kilos and then went right to 410, not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I had my technique.
I bet the 300 felt hard because you don't quite know what to do.
300 I managed okay. 400 was, I dropped it a lot. I finished it, but I was not easy. Yeah.
I remember my
quads.
first yoke. I did 300 kilo. It was like 21.
Yeah.
19, sorry.
It's not as easy.
And I picked it up and I thought my arsehole was going to fire out my backside. I thought my spine was just going to flick out.
Yeah. You would.
Fuck, it was tough.
It's, yeah, but I mean, that's just the way it was. Like the access to equipment just wasn't that good back then. So, I jumped into that. And then, like you're saying, 2006. So that was January of 2006. I did my first pro-am. I did another one in May got third place, and then in June I won. So I went from, and the first one I got 13th. Just for
So less than it.
perspective.
So it's the first 7-8 months you're winning.
Well,
winning stuff.
I mean, I got my butt kicked in that first pro-am.
Yeah, of
because
course.
it was, I mean, the level was just way higher. So, I came back, and I think that's when I maybe got a log, for example, and then I had a guy help me weld some equipment to train on, and so I definitely progressed super quickly. Like, and then I was considered a pro in the States, at least in 2006.
2006.
So
did you do America's Strongest Man?
I did not.
You never did it?
No, I actually, what I will say is I realized, I was always very kind of, I guess, honest with myself is probably the best way to say it. So I did not compete in America's Strongest Man in 2006. And it was just, I knew that I needed to level up. Like, I knew that I had to get better. I was like, okay, because when you turn pro, I mean, probably the best way to look at it is, you're the strongest amateur. You get your pro card. Now you're the weakest pro.
Yes.
Right. So it's like, you're not going to walk in and not to say that I couldn't have beaten some of the pro guys, which I probably could have, but also, like, my intention was not just to beat a couple of them. It was to be the best that I could be. So I took the rest of 2006 off and just trained.
And just got strong behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Was 2010 your first World's Strongest Man?
No, 8.
2008.
Yeah.
So wow, and 2 years later, and you're World's Strongest Man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was quick, man. I mean, it, like, building up into it, I like I said, I needed to scale up, I needed to improve, but getting to World's Strongest Man, at least at that time, there was a lot of good Americans.
Oh yeah.
And I had to beat somebody. Had to.
And you got to look at the people that were, like, in the prime back then, and Sadrunas Savickas, of course. He'd probably been around a few years by the time you were getting into it. Is that true to say? Or around about the same time?
No, he was there in, like, 2000, probably 2000, 2001, 2002.
So he's, so I thought he was. And then you've got the people like Thor and people like myself that sort of break on the circuit in 2012. But your very first World's Strongest Man title, 2011. Is that right?
Yep.
Was that LA? It was America, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually held at Wingate University in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Talk us through that, man. I mean, that's a fast trajectory.
Yeah.
2005, first amateur show, to then 2008, your first World's Strongest Man, and winning it in 2011. That's fast.
Yeah, I mean, it was great, man. The progression. So, I mean, my first year, I didn't make the final. I was third in my group. I got Pujanowski in my group that year, so that was kind of like the eye opener.
Jeez, man, I'm jealous I never got to compete against Marius Pujanowski.
Yeah,
I mean, I recently got to punch him in the
face.
Him,
yes, yeah.
But yeah,
no, it was fun, man.
He was a fierce competitor.
Yeah, he was fierce for sure, man. Very determined, just competitive. Not necessarily the nicest guy to everybody at the contest or around the contest, but would quite literally rather die than quit. Like, he took that attitude with Strongman. So, like, I respected that. That's what I'll say is, like, I respected that out of him just because he was so competitive, super athletic, super fast, endurance, like, off the charts. But it was fun, man. I mean, that was kind of my introduction. So I got him in my group in 2008. I got Zadrunas in my group in 2009.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, and both of those were great tests for me.
So they were both winners at that point. They'd both won it.
No, well, Zadrunas won his first one in 2009. Okay. So that year, him and I were in the qualifier together, right, and then he ended up winning. So 2008, I didn't make the final. 2009, I came back and got third overall. So Zadrunas won, Marius second, me third.
Yeah.
And then in 2010, I tied for World Strongest. Yeah. And then so
dropped
ended up
that sandbag.
Yep.
Is that the one?
Yep. Dropped the sandbag. Yeah. And then came back in 2011 and then won. So yeah, it was a fast progression, but it was, very positive feedback for me, with training and competing and, like, all right, I'm on the right track. I know that it's there, like, you just got to keep working and, have that extra motivation when you get that close, and then just keep putting it in, getting better and, like, refining every single thing. And, so it was fun though, man. It was, that time was was interesting, but it was nice to win it for sure. To kind of get that off my back and whatever, especially after the year before with the tie. So
no, definitely that era. I say that you and Cedrunas, that back and forth between you and Cedrunas, it's like he won one, you won one, he won one, you won one. It went like that for what, 7 years? 8 years.
8 years.
I mean, that was so entertaining.
Yeah.
As me coming in as an amateur, seeing that back and forth, it was so exciting. And then going into World's Strongest Man myself and seeing it myself and seeing the rivalry, it was ace.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It was good, man. I definitely. I mean, I think both of us had a lot of respect for one another. You know, it was super competitive. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, we certainly didn't talk a lot like at these events. Cedrunas and I, it was
there for
like,
a reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's one of those things. I mean, a lot of things could play out differently. Like potentially could have played out differently. 2010 goes different.
Yeah.
Right. And that bag stays on the platform, for example, or I carry the frame a little bit faster, or press my, like, there's a lot of ways to win. But if all those things go differently, which easily could have gone different, now it's 5-3.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's a whole different landscape. And the super ironic part of that is they changed the rule with World's Strongest. There was no rule about a tie at World's Strongest Man, not in the rules, never written in.
And
then afterwards they changed it to whoever, if there is a tie, whoever wins the stones is the winner. Right. Well, I won the stones in 2010. So it's like,
so if they brought that rule in a year earlier,
if they would have had that, well, that probably would have been the rule had they had a rule, right?
Bugger.
So that's a real, like, I love that when they brought that out. Like, there was like, oh, hey, we decided after the fact, if we have another tie, that the winner of the stones is actually going to be the winner of the contest. Like,
so because of that drama, it
man.
created the rule. Okay.
Well, it's the only time everybody's looking around like they didn't know what to do. Yeah. But it was like, I can't remember what meeting we got presented that in the rules. And I'm pretty sure I raised my hand and I was like, you do realize that this is the rule now, but I won the stones and you didn't, like, that's not what we did. Right. So,
oh man,
that's
tough, man. I mean, like, so you won World's Strongest Man 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2016.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's all the ones like by the skin of your teeth. 2010, you dropped a sandbag in one of the last events in the final. That cost you. 2012 I've been there since 2012. There's always been a mistake every time you've lost the title ever since that.
Well, 2012 wasn't, I would say that one wasn't so much a mistake, but my
your hand,
my nerve, I had horrible nerve problem, like just complications, honestly, from sleeping wrong.
Yeah,
that's honestly what it was.
I remember you couldn't even like open a door handle with that hand.
I couldn't tie my shoes. I couldn't get dressed. Yeah, that was a rough contest. 2012 was a rough one, man. I was really, really worried, like, what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
But then you're competing, but because I couldn't, like, for example, because I couldn't tie my shoes, and thank goodness we were at that hotel, right? Yeah. So what I did is I got dressed in my room having help. Somebody would tie my shoes for me and help me put on my shoes. And then I would walk down the stairs and out to the tent, and nobody, like, I didn't want to, like, be in front of all you guys. And,
yeah,
like,
and
I couldn't tie my shoes and I couldn't do. So I was trying to not show any weakness. But that was a rough one, man. That hand shutting down was very scary for me.
I remember.
And then the crazy part of that contest is, like, I was still in third. And then I don't remember. Do you remember the power stairs?
Yes, I remember very well. The fudging.
Yes.
On the power stairs.
Like, they came in and who was it? Like, some health and safety guy.
I can't remember, but they basically changed the order. Like, you got to do the first one, then the outer one, then do the middle one last. And no one listened apart from you.
Yeah. I literally followed the rules, but they had no penalty put in.
Yeah, it was obscene.
Right. And that was the sad part of that is it's all these moments that you remember, right, when you're done. And that costs me. Even though I wasn't going to win because I was in a bad spot, but you're putting this energy out. You're trained hard to be there.
Yeah.
And that would have been third place, right? Yeah. Like, it should have been a podium, which, you know, podiums at World's Strongest Man, I ended with 10.
It'd mean a lot, yeah.
But it would be 11.
Yeah.
Right. So like right now, actually, Zadrunas and I are tight on that.
Yeah.
So 10 and 10, and I would have 11. But again, like I brought that up after the fact, and I was told, don't make a big deal out of it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that time, the money for third place would have been a big deal.
Yes, yeah, I remember.
Another podium would have been. It's
very frustrating.
You have those moments, man, and it's. I guess it's like a strongman growing or whatever, but it's just kind of sad that, like, you know, you have these memories of these moments, like the tie and it not being handled super well, and then that, you know, ending on that note, and you're like, wait a minute, I followed you guys came out and said that was a rule, I followed it. He didn't.
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal? And it's like, no, we're not going to fix it. Like, it's just is what it is. So,
yeah,
those things are tough, man. But you try to, I think you walk away and you try to remember the good stuff, like, because it'll eat you up too much if you try to remember all the negative, you know.
Yeah, 100%. There's always the what ifs, buts, and coulds, isn't there? And as you say, you could probably sit there and tell us a million skin of the teeth moments why you should have 10 World's Strongest Man trophies or not. But at the end of the day, you've got 4.
Yeah.
How many second places? How many third places?
So there's 10 podiums. I think there's 2. Let me think. God, two. I think it's. Gosh, I don't even know. 3 thirds and 3 seconds, maybe.
Oh, that sounds
21.
That's 10 in total.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, it's like those second
I
places.
don't worry about the second. I don't know the count of the second and thirds.
Okay.
That doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. No. But second place is first place loser. As they
Yeah,
say.
I like genuinely. There were years, and I'm not even kidding about this. They would mail me my trophy.
Yeah.
If it was second or third place, I wouldn't open it. I was disgusted with it, so I couldn't even open it. That's the truth, God's honest truth.
I get it.
One of the trophies spent over a year in the box.
I get that.
Like I couldn't even bear to open it. Yeah. But that was just me. That was
disappointment. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Arnold Strongman Classic winner, 2011, 2015. Those were tough contests, big heavyweights. And then how many world records do you reckon you've got, Brian?
I don't know.
Let's just take a pause.
Yeah.
Everyone in the room, gather around and listen to Brian Shaw's
to
world
the
records.
world records. Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just name his name is 5.
I don't really care.
You don't bloody hell, it's all you ever talk about off camera. You don't all of a sudden you don't care. Doesn't care about them all.
The
of a
world
sudden.
records. I look, man, I had different deadlift records, I had different stone records, keg toss records, different, carrying events, super yoke records. Like I had a lot of different stuff.
It's definitely more than 5. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't keep track. I just did what I did. So, yeah.
Fuck me, it's different outside the podcast, I tell you.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because I would break those down into whole individual stories for you and make you sit there and listen.
4 World's Strongest Man titles. Which one means the most and why?
I would say that the second one. Second one meant a lot to me. And the reason being is after that problem in 2012 with my hand, it wasn't like I got to leave the contest and it was just fixed, right? It was a big problem, like a massive problem, where I got to the point where I didn't even have enough strength in my hand to clip my fingernails. Like I could not, physically I couldn't open a door. I couldn't hold a pan to cook.
Yeah.
Like it was wild. Like I thought, and I couldn't even put my socks on. I couldn't tie my shoes. It was scary, like legitimately scary. And so
in that moment, you thought you were screwed.
Well, you go from being on top of the world. Because like in 2011, I didn't lose a strongman contest.
Yeah.
Not one.
So you've gone from literally being the world's strongest man to then feeling like the world's weakest man.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible, man. Demoralizing, right? So to go through that process, and I had all these, MRIs done. I had these experimental things done to try to help fix it, like nerve conduction tests and just like this gamut of my hand, like and me looking at my hand, all the intrinsic hand muscles are going away. So it's atrophying. So it's like literally down to like
wasting
bones.
Yeah.
So the reason I say that is like to climb back from that, ended up having surgery to release the nerves. And and to be able to work back from that low spot to get back to winning in 2013. That's really why the second one is. That's why I'm answering it like that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like so many people didn't think I could do it.
It's like a
Right,
redemption win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, for me, it was important to add, like, I really wanted to add as many as I could, but like, I felt like winning the second one for me was, you know, just like I wanted to make it happen. And I thought, like, for a moment, it's like my hand's not going to work. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be able to do it. Like, so there was a lot of emotion that went into
Yeah.
that one for me.
There's
So,
also like with strongman, and I get this a lot. It's like if you win one, you're lucky. That's what you get a lot of that. Don't
yeah,
you? If you win it twice, you're very, very, very lucky. If you win it
Yeah.
3 times, that's not luck. That's fucking sheer
yeah, you
hard
gotta,
work, dedication. You know.
and there's that's certainly part of it, because with strongman, the events do change.
Yeah.
The location changes, right? Like, and I mean, there's just the reality of it is, like, there's a guy that could come in, have everything fall his way, have the events that all suit his strengths, and that's perfect, right? Like, and the contest works out that way. But, you know, it's also, you still have to perform.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like, I don't think that it's fair to be like, oh, you just got lucky or you just got this or that. Like, you have to perform. So,
Of course. What was the most brutal event you have ever competed in, and why was it Sanya, China? Because I was there for that. That was fucking horrendous.
horrible.
What's the most brutal event you ever competed in? As in, like,
Just
conditions, your well-being, you know, just like what's been the one that's like, fuck, how the fuck did we get through that?
I would say China in 13 was, I mean, that tops the list. Like, I would say, because the food issues and how horrible it just was. Horrible. Like, it was, you know, hot, it was humid, and the food was bad. And, you know, I you know, did a lot to try to work through that. Right. So like, and I don't know if you remember this specifically, but and the language barrier is big. Right. So I figured out, and I can't remember if it was the physios or who it was that found this at, like, American type sports bar in China. Right. Do you remember this or no? I don't know if you went with us.
Yeah. So you told me about it,
Yeah.
but never fucking took me with you.
Yeah. I didn't like you that much then.
I know.
So
That's fine.
here's what I did. Have you heard this? Did I tell you this?
Go on, tell me.
So I had somebody that could, like, translate Chinese to American,
Yeah.
and I had them write me 2 notes, right?
I
So
remember you
one
telling me that shit.
was take me to this sports bar, and the other one was take me to this hotel, right?
Yeah.
So I made sure to mark them so that I knew that I was, like, handy, because it's all just the symbols.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Chinese
You
is,
cannot understand it.
watching somebody write Chinese is
Yeah.
wild. Speaking it, whole different level. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have these 2 things, right? So I would go to this sports bar and I would get extra burgers. And so what ended up happening, and I don't know if you remember this part or not, you probably don't. So one of the girls that was working at that sports bar, because I wouldn't eat in the athlete area because all the guys were getting sick.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not touching food there. Not. So I had protein shakes in my room. I had Snickers bars that I got from the grocery store, and I had a little bit of beef jerky. And that's what I was living on during the day. I wouldn't eat breakfast. I wouldn't eat any of it. And so I would go to the sports bar and I would buy extra burgers there. Right. And I think this girl thought that because I was going there so often that I was interested in her.
Ah, right.
Right. So here's what happened. It honestly played to my favor massively. So she knew the event was happening. Right. So what she started doing is she started coming out to where we were competing, and she would bring me burgers. So all the rest of the guys had this hot, disgusting lunch food or whatever, and she would show up, like, smiling, like, "Hey, Brian, here you go. Here's your lunch." And I would be sitting there enjoying this
You motherfucker.
delicious burger, you know. And I
Insane.
had no
never.
I had no interest in her
I've
whatsoever.
never
But I
wanted-
also didn't tell her.
I'm
I didn't
sorry.
tell her, like, that I wasn't interested because this was happening. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna get a nice lunch, like, every day.
You're a fucker.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to punch someone in the back of the head as much as I wanted to punch you in the back of the head at that very moment.
Right now,
No, back then, when all the food
Yep.
that was on offer was just rancid, gone off, full of flies all
horrible.
over it, like unedible.
Yeah.
Like I was probably starving most of the time.
Yeah.
And then to see you sat there with fucking burgers,
You wish it was you.
I honestly wanted to hit you so hard.
I'm pretty sure I gave you some.
You didn't. No, you didn't.
I would
You
have.
didn't. No, you didn't. I said we weren't that pelly.
No, you should have been
We weren't
nicer.
that close, but
You should have been nicer.
nicer to me.
I did share some of them because she did bring extra, so certain people did get extras.
Yeah, but not me. Fucking piece of
Well, I was going to have my fill first.
So yeah, just to fill people in on that, Sanya, China, 2013.
Yeah.
The food that they supplied, there's nowhere else to eat either. The food that they supplied to the athletes was very below par. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Very, very bad.
I was pretty upset.
I just remember walking in. I'll never forget this. I remember walking into the hotel for lunch one day.
Yeah.
And the chicken was green.
It's-
Like it was that rotten. It was green.
I walked in there a few times, Steve, and you just looked and smelled, and you were like, "Nope, not doing that."
It was bad.
So
you couldn't trust any meat. It was like I was just living off boiled rice.
Yeah.
And like,
well, that was
the plainest foods. I daren't eat anything.
It was like I said, other than me going to that sports bar, was protein shakes because I had brought some tubs of protein and Snickers bars.
Yeah. I think every single athlete shot themselves that event.
I didn't get it until the final.
Did
I
you
was
not?
so worried, man. Like I was up on the toilet like all night, and you're like, "This can't be happening." Like,
I mean, that played a big part of you winning that year. Not to say that you didn't deserve the win.
well, I was
But
always
all the athletes were very ill.
I was always super careful with that, man. I would always I would never brush my teeth with sink water. I always had bottled water. I wouldn't touch anything if I thought I was anal about it, right? And then in my mind, it would be no different than what you and I did at certain contests where you're going and getting your own food, or I mean, there's contests where I flew with my own food.
I know, yeah,
right?
I've seen it with my own eyes.
I didn't mess around. I hired people in certain spots to go shop for me. I did everything, right? And this is just you're controlling the factors, but also anybody. It wouldn't be hard for somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Other than it's going to cost you some money.
Yes.
And it's going to take some time and effort, right?
So
it's not, you have to control the variables.
Yeah.
If I'm going to fly to China and I've trained for months and months and months or a year, why would I leave it up to chance and just drink some water? Right?
So this is where I took a lot of my sort of my attitude towards strongman. I learned from you, just hanging around with you, those little bits, seeing you bugger off to bars and get food brought to you. Hiring your own space, getting chefs in, whatever, man. It was just wow, this guy's a professional.
Yeah.
And as an amateur myself, up until say 2015, I witnessed all that. And then when I turned pro, I quit my job in 2015. I was like, I just copied you.
Yeah.
Just literally copied everything you did. Taking your own physio, taking fans, taking your equipment, spending money, bringing extra suitcases full of Snickers bars and food. I copied, man. And I really do think it made that big a difference. Huge. It was huge.
Yeah.
Humongous.
And I saw that too. I mean, it was awesome, dude. But the thing is you took it upon yourself to do things like that.
Yes.
Right. To control the variables as much as you possibly could. And if you want to win, you need to do that.
100%.
Right. And everybody can say I think there was rumors that I had, I don't know, I had shipped in special food to China and I was doing all this. And it's all I did was I hit the ground and I didn't have what I needed. So I figured out how to get it.
Yeah.
Right. And I wasn't going to stop until we figured that out. So it's controlling it, man. But like you said, if things can help just a little bit, right? And granted, you could go there and you could eat all the food they provide and you might be fine.
Yeah.
Right. But why would I want to change my whole diet?
Yeah.
And I got better. To be fair, 2013 even taught me a lesson because it's I should have had it.
Yeah.
Right. And I thank goodness I was able to find that sports bar, but it just, it all plays out. But it's in hindsight now you get to talk about it, have stories and it's interesting, man.
Yeah. Learning curves. It's those 1%, and that's what most people don't understand.
Yeah.
Is taking your food might only add 1% to your performance, but that's 1% more than the other guy.
Big time.
Take your own physio, that's another 1%. Taking your own fans, that's another 1%. Before you know it, you've got 10% up on anybody else. It's the little things. On the diet, so obviously strongmen, we eat a lot of food. A lot of food, especially back then in our primes, you know,
Oh, a
when
lot.
it was
Yeah,
a lot more of a heavier contest.
Mm.
What was the heaviest you've ever weighed?
Almost 470 pounds.
470 pounds.
I
That's
was
like,
probably
fuck my life.
so 200 and what is that? 215,
215 kilo.
something like that.
It's a speck under 34 stone. So
It was heavy, man. Yeah.
I remember. Would you say that's 2017 was your
Mhm.
heaviest? That was, yeah. I was the same. That was
Yeah.
that was a heavy year. How many calories are you eating to get to that kind of size a day?
That was up above 10,000 for sure.
As a minimum, 10,000 would be your minimum. What
I
would be
think
your
so.
max and what would be your average on a day, do you reckon?
I mean, average had to be 11 to 12, probably on an upper end day, probably 14.
Okay.
And that would be like adding some cheat foods in,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like that type of stuff, because you can escalate your calories quickly with that. But it was just the sheer amount of food is sickening.
Oh, I know.
Like it honestly is sickening. It's like and
It's a job.
you could argue like, okay, maybe you didn't need that much. Maybe you didn't need some of the extra junk food. Like I would disagree, just based on the fact it's proven,
Yeah.
right? Like and
Results proven.
the type of weights that needed to be moved required. That's what it was required. So you had to be in one spot and be brutally strong in one spot.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the sport has changed a little bit. I don't think that necessarily the guys now, they're not challenged in that exact same way. And it's not saying that they couldn't get there.
No.
Right. Like it's saying that like, well, the events are different. So if they were challenged with that, I do think that some of them for sure could get there.
Yeah.
But you'd have to modify your training, potentially modify your eating, you know, and you train for what you have to do.
Yes.
Right. So that's just what it is. It was required, man. That's where the sport was going in 2015, 16, 17.
Yeah.
That's just what it was.
Heavy. So 10 to 14,000 calories a day. Talk us through, like, do as a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, and snacks. Just quickly.
Man. Yeah, I would say like the upper end, probably 12 eggs, like a full dozen eggs.
Yeah.
And then you would have like hash browns. Sometimes I would have cereal. I think I remember I would have that with it. You know, and then basically from there, I would roll into meat meals, some type of meat, a lot of bison. I would eat a lot of bison, steak for sure. Sometimes chicken, but like again, just based on the calories. Like I would always try to stick with red meat for the most part.
Yeah.
Like I liked it more. I felt better. I felt stronger.
So for lunch, what kind of volumes are we looking at?
I mean, the upper end of a meal would be like 16 ounces cooked meat. So that would be like a pound,
So
pound and a
half
half,
a kilo.
pound and a half.
Yeah,
Of raw meat.
just meat. So we're talking between half a kilo and 750 gram of meat just for your lunch.
One meal. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd have that, but then multiple times. So like certain meals would be around that. But in a given day, I would say I was eating 5 pounds of meat.
Yeah. Wow.
So I would eat that. That
So
was
you're having like
normal.
6 or 7 of those meals of like meat and rice,
meat and potatoes, rice, pasta, a lot of pasta. So those were pretty typical meals. Sometimes I would do a shake and maybe some granola bars or like something like
Did
that.
you used to do like a famous Shore strength shake? What does that involve? I've got written down here
Oh, in your notes.
in my notes.
I did a lot of shakes over the years. I think like the most enjoyable was like throwing in bananas and peanut butter and protein, and you know, maybe I would add some ice cream, maybe a piece of cheesecake, like for fun. Like it was kind of like a blender bomb,
Wow.
you know. Early on, when I couldn't afford anything, it was tuna shakes. So maybe that's like in your notes. So I would do that was pretty simple. 2 cans of tuna and orange juice, and just blend it up and slam
That's dirty.
it. It's you don't want to smell it.
That's dirty.
You don't need to smell it, but it's pretty nasty. But the thing is, you could get 2 cans of tuna for super cheap, right? And then orange juice, not super expensive. So you just blend it up, and there's my protein, right? So I could do that, and I could have that done for like $1 and some money, you know.
I mean, I've done a lot of traveling with you, and I've witnessed you wolf down a dozen eggs so easily with like several rounds of sourdough bread, and
Yeah.
as you say, like hash browns with what is it? Is it hash with the meat? What is it called?
With like bacon or
Yeah, like
something.
ground hash.
Yeah, you mix in
You
ground
mix
meat with that.
ground meat. Yeah,
Yeah.
ground meat, ground beef hash.
Yeah.
That's it. So you do that, and then you'd like for lunch, you're having a pound of bison with rice.
Easy.
Second dinner, pound of bison with rice.
Normally,
Third
I mean,
dinner,
if you're not like this, the thing is a pound. A lot of times was a minimum.
yeah,
Like
I
that would be
remember.
like a minimal because that would cook like typically a pound. You know, again, we're talking different like weights and ounces and kilos and whatever. But you know, it's that would count 16 ounces a pound. So you'd cook down typically 12 to 13
yeah.
ounces. So if you're having 12 ounces, that's a pound
Yeah.
roughly of cooked meat. So I measured everything. I weighed it out, cooked. Everything was cooked for
I
me.
remember. And then
So-
you would douse everything in like chicken broth or beef broth.
A lot of times, yeah.
Just to
yeah.
help it go down, and also the digestion.
I would have different sauces. You know, typically stayed away from any type of cream sauce, anything like that, and then you know, really got away from doing a lot of milk stuff. I found that caused, for me at least, quite a bit of inflammation. So it was interesting. Like when I brought on Nathan Payton and we started doing all my diet stuff, like he had me pull it out. And I felt better. I actually felt better. My joints felt better. Like there's a lot of different stuff that happened there. But, you know, you just refine what you're eating.
Yeah.
You know, because at certain points when I was gaining, going up, I would drink a gallon of milk a day.
Yeah.
Right. And that was whole milk, full fat.
Just a gallon for everyone is 4.5 liters of milk
in a day. And that was something when I was, again, younger, didn't have as much money I could afford. It was super calorie dense protein.
Yeah.
Right. So you'd plug that in with a ton of pasta and
Yeah.
just honestly, like once it's mixed up, you do some pasta sauce and maybe tuna or chicken or whatever. It's just disgusting because like the tub of it is like, and you're just eating that and cold, right?
Yeah.
So you just eat it, but you have to get it done, you know? So it's work, man. I mean, it's not, everybody's not going to necessarily commit to that type of level. But, you know, again, I think you understand, like I do, that if you want to separate yourself and be at that level, you got to do things that other people are not willing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
like, and
100%.
it's not, you know, we sit here and have these conversations. And I think, you know, a lot of people are going to listen to certain parts and say like, really, you did this, you did that. Like, why did, you know, but it's just that to me, it makes sense, right? Like I don't have to have, a lot of the things that I do in my mind, and this is how I always felt, they don't need to make sense to other people.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't have to justify what I can say what I'm doing. And if you choose to follow it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But to me, it's got to make sense. And if I believe what I'm doing is separating me, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't need people to justify it. So
I would say just hanging around with you over the years, and I learned so much from you. And you were doing ice baths before it was a cool thing to do.
yeah, I love
You were
that.
like doing them way back, like 2010 pre.
Yeah.
And it was because of that I invested in an ice bath.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing people don't see. It's like physiotherapy, the ice baths, the shockwave machines. Just, it's so expensive. And when I first started Strongman, it was like spending £50 or £100 a week on physio was obscene. Like, why would you waste that kind of money? Like, you could spend that on whatever else. But you were like, you would travel with physios, you would have physio 4 to 5 times a week, and it was like, wow, like you're investing so much into your body.
Heavy. Yeah.
The cold tubs, the red, you know, all these magical things. And then I started doing it. Like I started doing the physiotherapy for 4 or 5 times a week. And I remember the family around me, you know, I was spending $250 to £300 a week just on physio. And I didn't have much money back then, but I was spending a good chunk of my wage income on physio, and everyone thought it was nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, do you know why? Because it's an investment into myself. Like it's an investment into my future income. And that's what I learned from you. It's about pushing those boundaries, making yourself uncomfortable, putting yourself in that financial strain and going for it. So like, talk us through some of the things you did for recovery. I know ice baths was one and the physio was one.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that sort of stuck out that you can maybe tell us that you did
Yeah.
before it was a fad?
So the ice bath for me started in college, actually. So I discovered, I can't remember why I did this, if it was my ankle or something, but we had this like kind of metal livestock trough tank thing.
Yeah, okay.
And nobody ever used it, right? But we had an ice machine kind of out like that you could get to. And I was like, man, my ankle just hurts. And, I thought, well, because people talked about kind of ice in a body part. And so I was like, I'm going to take some ice and just put it in that trough and dump a whole bunch of water in there
Yeah.
and jump in. I was like, my legs hurt, my ankles hurt, whatever, right? And I got out of that thing. I probably stayed in there for 10 minutes or so. Like, it was pretty tough because it was like ice, like cold. And I got out, man, like I got on the basketball court the next day and I was like, God, I feel great. Like, I feel light on my feet. I feel like my legs are energized. Like, I was like, there's something to this, right? And I didn't know what it was, but I was like, all right, I'm going to keep doing this. So I would go in that locker room by myself and do it in college. And then, getting into strongman, I had very primitive stuff. So again, it was like for a lot of years, I had a plastic livestock tank.
Yeah.
That you could use year round pretty much. And it was, I just put stuff in there and I didn't really temperature control it too much. It was just a lot of ice and a lot of water and get in there and stay in there. And you would kind of feel when it was cold enough and, sometimes too cold and you maybe get out a little earlier. But I could see the benefit of it. I could, see and feel, right? My sleep was better. My recovery from training was better. And so I kept it up. And then it was one of these things where I as you get in a better situation, I was actually traveling to a recovery place. And so there I started doing the hot and cold treatment because they had hot and cold tub. I started doing hyperbaric chamber there, which I thought was really good.
What age was that, the hyperbaric?
So I started that. That would have been before Braxton was born. So probably 2014.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Around there.
Yeah.
So I was doing that.
When it was just coming in, really.
A few times a week. That different IV treatments. So I would get like an IV, maybe not once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. And then leading up to a contest, I would do that to kind of rejuvenate and feel better. A lot of like stretching. So I was always very big on what the therapy that I did was called fascial stretch therapy. So it's like somebody's stretching you.
Yes.
So you're going through it and it's kind of a different method, but I always felt like for me, the more mobile I was, the less likely to get injured I was. So like if you never train in a certain range of motion, for example, and you then get in a contest, you have to get there under load. It's where things go wrong. So I was like, well, if I can be super flexible, full range of motion with all my training, that's going to benefit. So I invested pretty heavy in that. I believed in that. Of course, all the soft tissue work was being done and added in a lot there. After our first son was born, I then bought the hot and cold tub. There was this other device that I had that was called a Swiss wing, but I did a lot of my own work and it vibrates and oscillates. So like you could really loosen tissue up well. And I felt like that's something to this day I actually still do every single day. Like I walk in the gym as part of, I have a vibration plate that I get on and that. And I do that as part of my warming up to this day, every single day. So like a power plate, like there's one that it's rated for heavier, like 550 pounds, but it's amazing, just to warm up.
Warms the whole body up.
I did all that stuff, man. I mean, it was like anything, the way that I looked at it was anything I could do to get better, I was going to do. I was going to try, right? So I tried, things like dry needling. I wasn't as big on. I tried that a few times and really get a lot of benefit from it. Some of the scraping, but again, that'd be like a fall under the soft tissue type of stuff. I actually like that quite a bit. But just the skill of the therapist, that's kind of what I found is I tried to and that's a big part of the reason where I did travel with certain therapists is I trusted them. And it was their hands had already worked on me. So I knew, and I could talk to them and say, hey, let's go to this level. This is how I'm feeling. And it's like you've already created this relationship. And it's like, all right, we only need a little bit here, but we got to loosen this up or we got to, so you can kind of feel because they've been with you in the battle a little bit. So
well, I travel with my physio because you travel with your physio. So
we had to, I mean, the thing is it's like, and also, right, and you can answer however, but it's like, I think to some guys, it's also, and I thought of it this way, like if I show up, let's just say I show up and I've got all these extra bags, I've got all this extra specialty equipment, I've got my own physio, I've got my food. I'm walking into a meeting and I've got this meal where everybody else is starving and I'm eating.
Yeah.
Right? I'm mentally playing a game, and everybody's like looking at, well, Brian's got his own treatment therapist, and then it'll be the same for you because everybody's like, well, Eddie's got a guy that's holding his fan for him.
Well,
right?
I noticed. I noticed
it plays a game with people.
The mind games were a great tool for the strongman. Say little things like that. Turn up your physio, get to the like hiring a truck, get into the arena before everyone else, get in your corner away from everyone, taking up loads of space.
Yep.
Just little things that piss people off and just get under the skin.
Yep.
And gives you that little edge.
Just a little bit, man.
And that's something else I took away from you. We've got 2 books in front of us here, Brian. One of them is called The Path to.
They're both the same.
Guess it. The Path to Greatness.
Path to Greatness.
Okay. My Journey to the 2011 World's Strongest Man by Brian Shaw. It's nice. Have you got any nice quotes in here?
Yeah, man.
Brian Shaw's journey from the plains of Colorado to the pinnacle of global strength sports is nothing short of legendary. This is raw and revealing autobiography. The 4 times world's strongest man takes you behind the scenes, into the gym, onto the podium, and deep inside the mindset it takes to become the best in the world with grit, heart, and relentless drive. Brian shares the highs, the setbacks, and the defining moments that shaped his journey to becoming the 2011 world's strongest man. Whether you're a diehard strongman fan or chasing your own version of greatness, this is the story that will move, inspire, and challenge you. That sounds lovely.
Good reading.
That sounds
Very
lovely.
Reading. Yeah, man. This has been a big project that I've been working on now for a good amount of time. And you having done a book yourself, you know how much goes into it.
Oh, geez, yeah.
So it's been good, man. And I'm really happy to finally have it. So we're actually right now in pre-sale of this. So it is available on shawstrength.com as a pre-sale, and then I'm going to sign every one of the pre-sale books, and
nice.
You get some extras with it.
There you
so
go. Get in early,
I'm excited, man.
Signed copy.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of the stories and more that we, have just kind of gone through, like with my, it's childhood, it's growing up, what I was like kind of as a kid, and the obviously journey through basketball and then into strongman and navigating that. As well. So, certainly some ups and downs and, kind of everything in between. Like it's neat with this because like with the book, I feel like you can share a lot more stories that people maybe haven't quite heard or that, were kind of defining moments that you had to deal with and overcome and work through. And, I think sometimes looking back, and I'm sure this is true for yourself as well, like you get to that pinnacle, you get up there, work so hard to get there. Like everybody's then, oh, well, now you're in the limelight to a certain extent, and people kind of know who you are, know your name, but they don't realize like, all right, well, you started from the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I think both you and I are the same. Like
I'm just looking at pictures now of you in a strongman competition. It just looks like it's on a commercial site car park. And that's how strongman used to be.
The parking lot, man.
Yeah, parking lot.
That's where a lot of the contests took place, was a parking lot.
Yep. That's where it was. And there's a picture of you pouring lead, hot, molten lead that I'm assuming you've melted down yourself into bowls to make Atlas stones heavier. So you're making your own Atlas stones weights.
Yeah. I poured my first stones. I just bought the stone molds. And then what I would do is I'd go to tire shops and get the tire weights because I couldn't afford to buy lead.
Yeah, the lead.
And you melt it down. So you get a cast iron skillet and put it on a burner.
Wow.
And then melt it down and then pour it.
That's crazy.
You don't realize, like, honestly, man, the first time I did that, I was like, oh, the cast iron. It wasn't a huge skillet like this, right? It's filling up and it's like brilliant colored lead.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I can fit more in. And then you go to pick it up.
It's
so heavy. I was like, well, I really screwed myself because now you got this liquid lead and you have to pick it up and get it over there.
Well, that's a good job you were strong, Brian.
Yeah. I had a whole method.
Oh my God. Look at this picture of you. How old are you here?
Let me see.
I'm sorry, mate. If you were in high school, I don't care how big you are, I would have beat that kid up.
You would have beat him up.
Look at that dweeby kid. Look at the state of that.
Yeah. That's not very nice, is it? Are you just going through the book to try
I was
to
just looking at pictures.
do stuff like that?
Well, basically, yeah.
Is that
That is, yeah. That is what I'd call a gimp, Brian. You look like an absolute gimp.
well?
You
You're,
were lanky.
you're such a good friend.
You were lanky. Like, wow.
bro. I look here's
big.
the
You
thing
can
is
tell
we're-
you're big. 6'8", obviously.
Yeah,
but
you talk
fucking-
about like size. This is why
Yeah, wow.
you know think of my body at this height at 200 and what 30, 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah, jeez.
Like,
Yeah,
horrible.
You're not gonna
It's horrible.
Yeah. There's pictures of you as a child as well.
Good.
You look just like your son.
That's
You look
wild.
just like Kellen.
If
Is it Kellen? No,
Braxton.
sorry, Braxton. You just look just like Braxton.
if you put the funny part is
Identical.
if you put our baby pictures,
I thought that
side-
was him.
it's wild.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's literally Braxton.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just I'm probably a lot.
So
fatter.
does that say something about Braxton then? Is Braxton maybe going to go into a big monster?
I don't know, man. He's strong.
Yeah.
He's really, really strong. Like I had him
Is this a picture of you with two of your school friends or?
that's at a contest.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
So you're like twice as high as them.
the first place.
First place.
So
Okay, that's cool, man. So the Path to Greatness are available on pre-order now at surestrength.com if you order. But Mr. Brian Shaw will sign.
do you read?
I do read it. Is this one of these for me?
One of those is for
Are
you.
you going to sign it for me?
I will sign
Have
it
you got
for
a
you.
pen?
We can do it after. It's
No,
fine.
I want to do it now, so you won't do it. I'm going to do it on camera because
I signed a
you
picture.
have to be nice to me on camera. The second the camera turns off, you're like, fuck off, Ed. I'm not fucking signing that, you prick.
You want it in silver. You want it on the cover or inside the cover?
Do both because I feel like the cover's going to rub off.
It is.
Okay, this is it now. Life's made. Brian Shaw is signing a book to me. So happy. So diving into business, Brian, like stuff like this, you were one of the first to really monetize yourself as a brand, as a business, family man, very successful strongman. The first really of all the strongman as well, and probably any strength athlete to hit up YouTube.
Yep.
Which again was very pioneering and sort of setting the standard for the rest of us to sort of chase your coattails, so to say. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Let's put
See
to
what it
Eddie.
says.
Be great. Be great. Brian Shaw, thank you. That's lovely.
Yeah, man. 2000. YouTube was 2008.
2008, you started.
2008. I
That's a
started.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Fuck. Were you quite on it at 2008? Was it like
No.
a slow process?
I was. Here's the thing, man. With YouTube, like what I'll say is, I had a vision. I had a vision of what it maybe could turn into, but it's very primitive, right? So like at the beginning, it's like a video, and then I had one of my training partners, and we would do it like on a camera, and then we'd go, and his wife had this like super like, just old school editing. We'd put something on the front and back, and here you go, or it would just be a straight.
blur as it moved images.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Scene to scene, yeah.
It was just a straight upload. Like one of the like early on videos we did was for the stone sleeves. I was like, oh, I'm going to market these, right? So I'd lifted one of the bigger stones I had was a 558, so 558 pounds, so like 253-4 kilos, something like that. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great because I load this in training, and then I'm going to say these stone sleeves are available on shawstrength.com, right? And so we went and edited this video, and I think we put music in it that got it so it was not monetized, but it wasn't long. It was just a short video of me loading that stone. And I did like grip stuff. Like I would do like grip feats that I enjoyed. I thought people would want to watch. And then I was always like, oh, people I think would enjoy the training, and we could do this different stuff. And so I went through like a handful of different videographers. The full gamut of things, man. Like one of the first guys was like, oh, we could do this. And, he was more like, oh, we'll do this kind of like membership site where people could see stuff. And I trusted him, as you would, right? He set that all up to take all the money. So like I never got paid anything.
Oh, wow.
But people were paying be members here. And I was like, well, I don't have access to the back end. I don't have access to the money.
Oh, wow.
Like, you screwed me over, like, so you go through people like that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
others that just, others that just didn't get it, right? Like, they just didn't get what I was trying to do. They couldn't make it interesting when you're training and, when you're going through and doing things in life. And, I'd done some basic stuff with like some different TV show appearances and that. And it was just this thought that I had. I was like, you gotta get out to people and let them in on your journey. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, they want to see behind the scenes. And then I would always, because I had my own gym space, I would always say to my one training partner, like, I feel like people would just love to be a fly on the wall. They would love to see, like, because I'd lift something insane.
Yeah. And no one to witness it.
No video, no nothing. And it was like, if we could bring them in to the training environment and show them the hard work, show them what it takes, and like kind of share the journey, I think they would get more invested. And I think it could be really good for, obviously for my brand, but also for the sport in general, because people just don't understand. And so that was where the thought was. And it took me a while, man, to like go through it and, kind of work into having something a little bit more established. But
when did YouTube get big for you? Because for those that aren't aware, you can get a very good revenue stream from YouTube.
Yeah.
So when did that get big for you? When did it become beneficial? And because that must have been a very pivotal point in your career, because you need money to eat, to train, to travel.
Yeah, I would say probably 20. I think it was. I didn't even understand you could monetize it, right? Like early on, which is kind of sad, because if I would have had somebody that could help with that, then we would have been in a lot better spot. Because like older YouTubers I've talked to, like the revenue was much better back then. Yeah. So it would have been smart if I could have done that. I didn't even realize I was just doing it purely for the video, like to share, know. And it kind of grew. I think we started monetizing in probably 15, 16.
Okay, so very late to the game.
Very late, early to the channel, late to the monetization, which was
so you probably missed out on a very good...
I missed out on a lot, man.
6-7 figures, maybe.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
But again, you don't know what you don't know, right? Like, and so then in 17 is probably where it really took off. And we were able to do some bigger videos, and, me getting like James on board, for example, like where he could edit, understand what I was envisioning, bring it to life. Like, and again, it's that bringing people behind the curtain, right? Like you get to see what's going on. And then, it's just, there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on, right? And then you can engage with people in a different way. So whether it was, day-to-day life of me trying to fit into things or go shopping or eating or it's
taken along on the ride.
Yeah, it was certainly training, right? Yeah, training was kind of always the emphasis. And, I always kind of had the vision with YouTube, like it has to, for me at least, it really needs to fit into my life, right? So like, I'm not going to necessarily, I never had the goal of like, oh, I'm going to set up these crazy videos and go do these sets and all this, right? It was like, no, we're just going to share what I'm doing. Yeah. Right. So you get to come along on the ride. And then if that's the way it is, then you, in theory, not that it doesn't get hard, because it does, and that, but it's like, it won't, you shouldn't get necessarily so burned out by it.
Yes.
Right. Like, it's like, hey,
it's just a part of
I'm going to show some training, and I'm going to show like me hanging out with my friends, and I'm going to show this and that. And so it just kind of evolved over time, but again, I think it like, as things were blowing up, and going better, it was a big part of it. Yeah, right? Like big part.
Oh, massive. Well, I think without the YouTube, the Shore Strength brand would be very, well, not weak, but weaker, than it is now. And on the back of the YouTube, you built a good brand. Shore Strength has got t-shirts, protein, accessories, books, like you name it, we're doing it. And it's ultimately led us to the Shore Classic, where you've run your own show for the last 5 years.
Yeah, this is number 6. Yeah,
number 6. So you've started your own strongman show where you're running very, very competitive scene here in the strongman circuit. Very high weights, very sort of more more sort of movement A to B, more grit. Like who's the strongest? Not who can throw the barrel or run the fastest. Who's the fucking strongest?
Yep.
And you've created this event that's got some good hype and good community behind it now. How many people turned up last year? Was it 5,000 or something?
I don't know exactly. It was over 4,000, 4 to 5. So like that arena gets pretty packed up, which is fun, you know. But it was just there's a lot that goes into that, without a doubt. And it was a vision. Again, it was like me, trying in the sport of strongman. Like one of my big things is I wanted to leave it in a better spot than when I started, right? So when I walk out, like if I can do something to make it better. And I had a lot of meetings, man, with World's Strongest Man, with different contests, and saying like, hey, here's what the athletes need. Here's how they should be treated. Here's what should be happening, like all this. And, it's people changed over the years, there to some extent. And, I think some years it seemed like they were more on board with it than others and, whatever. But I felt like at a certain point, for me, I felt as though if I wanted to see some change, I had to facilitate it. And so I was like, well, if I keep saying all these things and this is how it should be done, then I should just do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's where it kind of, came from. And, really the thought was already there for quite a while. And I probably even had some conversations with you over the years about like, hey, athletes should be in control of this. And like, we can do a lot and all this, so the thought process was already there. What really kickstarted it was 2020 with all the COVID nonsense and shut down this and that and contests not happening. And, it was just one of these deals where I was talking to a lot of the guys that were my friends, and a lot of the guys rely on the prize money and they rely on sponsorship money, and it wasn't happening.
And that stopped.
It stopped.
Yeah.
And so that's when I came up with the initial idea, and I told Carrie, I was like, hey, we can clear out my gym space. Well, actually, like spaces. So the place in Estes and then the one in Brighton.
Yeah.
And we'll close the doors. We'll bring in the top 10 guys and we'll just do it. We'll film it. We'll do it behind closed doors. No audience, no nothing. And we'll make it happen, right? There's this wild idea of like, I said, I'll put up the prize money myself. I'll pay to fly everybody in. I'll take care of all the accommodations and we'll just do it, right?
You definitely looked after the athletes. What was the prize money last year? In total,
last year,
first place.
200 and I think we're roughly 255,000
in total. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's great.
And then first was 101,000, I think 100,000.
Yeah, that's
right
good,
around
man.
there. Yeah,
yeah. I wish I was winning that for doing contests when I was competing.
You and me both, man.
Wow. Yeah, we honestly like people forget that 10. I'm going to say 10, let's say 11, 12 years ago. Like I remember winning England's Strongest Man on a pub car park.
So what year? 2010.
Okay. Very first one. No prize money. Yeah. UK Strongest Man 2011 on a pub car park. $2,000 prize money for being the best in Britain. And then you get to World's Strongest Man and, you get a little step up. But unless you're winning it, it's... Yeah. But that's like any competition. Unless you're winning the competition, it's tough to make a career out of it. Yeah. Really tough.
Yeah, the guys have way more opportunities now, and it's different. It's different, right? Like the prize money situation is certainly different. The exposure is different. I think the fans, and it's tough when you talk about these things because there's a lot of things that you did, for example, that I did, right, to bring eyeballs to the sport, to bring new fans in and expose them to it. And, you've done a lot with your documentary, with your book, with different TV stuff. And, like I've had a lot of things that I've done and you've done. And this like group of us collectively brought a lot of attention to the sport. And that's what leveled it up really to help. Right. And not to say that it wouldn't have got there. Maybe it would have, but it's like, you have to have these big characters to kind of build a sport around, right? Yeah. And people are like, man, they're heavily invested in, what is Eddie Hall going to do? And what is he saying now? And what is he, like all that type of stuff. It builds it up.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that certainly helped to elevate it. And the goal that I've had is to give back to the sport, give back to the fans. And, it's grown into something pretty crazy. It really has.
You
Like,
de-
I mean, it's a
you've
big
definitely-
weekend now.
You've definitely given back, mate. 100%. You have left the sport in a much better place than when you entered it. As you say, collectively, we've done a lot of things that have really ramped up. I feel like this generation strongman, I don't know how lucky they are. As I say, I remember competing for a couple of grand, and now you can compete for 100 grand.
That's wild.
5, 4, 5, 6 times a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really come on. And as you say, people like ourselves, documentaries,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe the difference YouTube has made to
Huge.
strongman.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, people like me, you, Thor, Sadrunas, we just ramped it up, that competitive era as well. In my opinion, like 2015, well, you and Sadrunas, so what we're going to say from 2010 to 2017, in my opinion, is the most fierce. Like just 4 massive blokes in their absolute prime, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
It was.
I think it was insane. We'll never have that again. I don't think.
It's interesting to think about, right? Like, and again, I think that the tendency is for, in some sports, in a lot of sports, right? Like the guys that were in a certain era retire, and then they talk about it, and they say, "Well, this was, our era was better," or whatever. I think it's such a fascinating conversation. But again, the sport, the best way to say it, I think, is the sport just changed.
Yeah.
The demands, when you were looking at those years that you just mentioned, the weights were going up and up and up and up, right? So every year
you had to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
And it just was what it was. And it was like this battle that was going to happen between the biggest and strongest, right? Like that was the only option, especially because even, the Arnold, yes, of course, was heavy, super heavy. World's Strongest Man was following suit, right? So a lot of the weights with World's Strongest Man were they were bigger. It's almost like they were competing a little bit, right? And so it just kept getting heavier. So it's like, well, World's Strongest Man was no longer the rep, like endurance event that it kind of was, at least when I started getting into it. That's what it was. No max lifts, none of that. And they kind of evolved to where there was max lifts and there was heavy carries and, very heavy events. So it's just the era changed. And then, in 2018, things just shifted. And I've said that before in different areas. It just shifted. And I don't know if there was a meeting that happened, but it was like the Arnold got lighter in 2018. World's Strongest Man got lighter in 2018.
Yeah, it did.
And it just changed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like, hey,
and it's not been the same since, has it?
We're pushing these guys too hard. The weights are getting too heavy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I genuinely, hand on my heart, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it just across the board did shift. And
I would agree with that.
so I got stuck in a tough spot like myself. And I've talked about this before where I wanted it to be the big weights. I love that. Like for me, it was like the heavier, the better. Put me in one spot, tell me to move something. I'm going to figure out how to move it. Right. Like that's what I loved. And, in my mind, there's a balance certainly between moving and having some athleticism, but also just being statically ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
And I think that you have to walk that line with the sport. And, somebody winning, obviously World's Strongest Man, now Strongest Man on Earth. Like if you're winning those, you should be required to lift the types of weights that definitely separate out the competitors.
Yes.
Right. And so that was really and truly, man, like with our contest initially Shaw Classic, still Shaw Classic, but now, I bought the trademark, the Strongest Man on Earth, so that we can actually crown that. And I bought it from Paul Ohl, and he ran Fortissimus back in the day. So he was officially like Fortissimus was crowning the Strongest Man on Earth. And so now we're essentially following in their footsteps, kind of. So that the trademark was already there. It's just now we can, I think we can reward the guy that wins because it is like you said, it's right now it's the heaviest, it's the hardest, it's the most demanding.
Yeah.
It's going to test your capacity for lifting for sure, but it's also going to test your will, right? Like, and I think that's an important part with strongman. It's like, you got to come into this and, and move in these type of weights. But like in all fairness, man, like, and I don't know how you feel, but like, it's the contest that I wish we could have had.
Yes.
Right. Like if you put that era you just talked
geez,
about,
man,
right?
yeah.
You put Zadrunas, he would have been loving that.
Yeah.
Hofthor, you, me, and then just go down the line with some of those guys. that would have been crazy,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like this crazy.
We were also statically strong.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that, and I've said it before. Like, I would have, for me, I would have liked to have that type of contest, especially with Zadrunas. For me, especially with Zadrunas, would have been, that would have been awesome. So awesome. Like with both of us, and because you're with 8 events, and this is the challenge of strongman in general. But when you're only going, like a lot of years, World's Strongest Man was 6 events. But when you're going 6, potentially you could not get challenged in an area that you might not be the best at, right? So it's like if you put that in, but then you expand the field, now you get rewarded certainly for being better, but then you could lose more points, right? So I think it's like, again, that's why we do it the way we do it. But in like a selfish capacity, I would have loved to have that type of contest happen, like when, you know, in that era, right? Like let's just say you plug that into 2016 time frame.
Yeah.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah, I would have loved it.
Wild.
Would have loved it.
Yeah.
Everyone would have loved it.
Yes.
So we retired from World's Strongest Man in 2023. I was there for your last show. Called it a day. You retired at the age of 41. Yeah. That's an amazing career, starting at 18, 19 and 23 years in strongman. That's insane. Absolutely insane. And the fact that you're still standing tall with no major injuries is pretty impressive. Since then, we've gone on to create the Shore Classic. Well, it was before that, but we're now really pushing the Shore Classic. And arm wrestling is now the next venture for you. Me and you had a match last December.
We did.
Nearly whipped your ass. With 5 weeks training.
How did I know when that came out? How did I know
I don't know if
we were
we
going to go there?
mentioned, but I only had 5 weeks training. It was never said much around the event.
Yeah.
But,
well, go ahead. I mean, just you have the platform. Tell everybody. Why don't you tell
basically,
everybody?
me and Brian Shaw
Everybody gather round.
had an arm wrestling match. Brian trained for 5 years. I trained for 5 weeks, and I still nearly beat him. But to be fair, he did beat me. But arm wrestling for you, how's that looking, man? Like, it's something you're quite passionate about, and I know you inside out. You obviously dominated strongman. There's no doubt in my mind that you think you can go on and be the best arm wrestler in the world. Is that your aspiration? Here's
what I'll say, man, and I think that my thought process with strongman, like when I got into strongman more heavily, there was a lot of talk on the street or from guys in the street, whatever, like the term, that Zadrunas was not, nobody was going to match him statically. Nobody was big enough or strong enough to do that, right? And so that was what I was told. It's what was kind of out there, especially in American. Like American was like, oh no, that guy, you know, this European is like, you know, he's a cut above everybody else, right? And, you know, I didn't say it, I thought it, where I was like, all right, I don't believe that. I'm in my brain, I don't believe that. Like I can work, and yes, right now, nobody would ever believe me at that moment saying that I could get up there, I could lift those type of weights, I could beat him at these events. Like nobody would believe that. But I thought it, right? Getting into strongman. So it was like, I was excited by the challenge of that. And then obviously the strongman career that I had, I think played out the way that it did, which was awesome, right? And we got to get in these battles. Right now in the arm wrestling world, Levon is that. He is that.
He's the Zadrunas of arm wrestling. Yeah.
And you know, it's exciting. That's what I'm gonna say.
Can we just pull up a picture of Levon? What's his second name? Do you know?
Saganishvili.
What he said.
Yeah. Levon.
Levon, he just looks like your stereotypical Russian sort of
he's from
freak.
He's from Georgia, not
same thing. Pretty close, aren't they? Close enough. They're within 1,000 miles. That's pretty much it. There we go. Look at that. Look at the size of that guy. That is if you're going to draw a cartoon character of a like Russian looking strongman.
Yeah, he's from Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You get a monster like that. He's just ginormous. His arms are going to be what? the 30 inches?
No,
They're massive.
They're big.
Huge. They're huge.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of these pictures are, I don't know.
A little bit of Photoshop.
Yeah,
He's still
probably-
humongous.
he's still-
I've met him in
dude, he's-
person. His arms
Yeah,
are
his bone
ginormous.
structure,
He is
and I
huge.
mean, it's like
so that's what you're up against.
Well, here's the thing. I'm up against a lot of people right now in the sport because these guys, and you will know this very well, like you have to respect what they have done, right? Like that's one of the things I say with arm wrestling is they come in and everybody has these sky high expectations for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, you should be this, should be that, right? Like I'm coming in like I haven't done it before. So I'm learning, I'm improving, I'm getting better. But to answer your question, it's like, yes, there's a lot of boxes that are going to have to get ticked before Levon, but I like having that guy that like everybody's saying, hey, is it possible?
Yeah.
Is it possible? And so for me,
the unbeatable man,
my brain always thinks that things are possible. I always think that. And it's not going to change in me, right? So like I look at him, I respect everything he has done. I'm not sitting here and saying like, oh my gosh, I could take him right now. That's not the case. But I'll tell you what, man, like you put some work into it. I don't know what the timeline is, but it could get exciting, right? So I like that, but I'm competitive.
It's a challenge.
Like I have that inside of me, that competitiveness where I like it, right? So like I walked away from Strongman, got to close out my career the way that I wanted to on my terms. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't injured. I wasn't forced to retire. Like I could have been doing it still now if I wanted to, but I wanted to walk out on my own terms. And so I was able to do that. But with arm wrestling, man, it's something I've been interested in for a good amount of time, just never able to really train it with Strongman because my focus had to be there.
It's dangerous to do the two.
So,
combined,
I'm walking in and the interesting part is, yes, I'm starting at an older age, right? That's for sure. But also from a damage standpoint, I've never had a problem with my elbows, my arms, my shoulders, like none of it, right? So like I don't have the damage, even though I did all this heavy lifting for sure, right? So that's got to count for something. And then you mix that with people don't understand, man. When you actually work hard at something over a long period of time, you can get better, right? Yeah. So I can honestly say I'm not there right at this moment, but also improvements are being made every single day, right? So like in my mind, I'm running this race and I'm getting better, and so everybody down the line, like I'm going to show that over time. Right. Yeah. But it's fun, man. We've got, we're now, our event with the arm wrestling is called the Strongest Arm on Earth. So we're playing off Strongest Man on Earth.
Nice.
Strongest Arm on Earth. We got some fun matches. I'll have my next big one.
I'm competing there.
Yes, you are.
By the way.
Yeah.
Me against Robert Oberst.
Robert Oberst.
Robert Oberst. Just give me a quick second here. Obi, you big, fat-headed, fucking yellow belly, redneck, dirty hobo. I hope you're training hard because I am coming to snap your fucking arm off. Be ready. Okay? Carry on, Brian.
That was great. Very good. And this is what exactly should happen. So you and Oberst is going to be
Oh, that's
awesome.
going to be good banter. We're gonna be laying into each other.
How do you feel? You feel good?
I'm feeling good. I need to get some work done. Like I've not done much arm wrestling because of my fighting. But I'm going to get some work done. Next 6 weeks till the Strongest Arm on Earth.
Is that your training camp for arm wrestling?
That's perfect. That's all I need.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. That's perfect.
Yeah. So you'll do that. I've got Brandon Allen. We're actually working on right now, like combining the event with East versus West, which is the premier arm wrestling league in the world. So I think it'll be great. We can join forces and really promote that event. Devin Lorette should have a match there.
Awesome.
We're waiting to get that confirmed at this moment. So we got some fun stuff coming, man. That's going to be part of that. So people coming out. That's August 15th to 17th. So coming up, man, and it's in Loveland, Colorado, and it's a great weekend is what I will say. Great.
Right, Brian. So we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up for you. I'm excited about the arm wrestling for you. The Shore Classic, August 15th, tickets at shorestrength.com and pay-per-view.
So that'll be actually it'll be StrongestArmonEarth.com.
StrongestArmonEarth.com. And what about the Shore Classic?
And that's theshawclassic.com.
The
So you can
Shaw Classic.
find things both areas. So if you go to the Shaw Classic, that'll give you Strongman arm wrestling,
Real.
expo details, all of that.
So head over to the Shaw Classic, everyone, and you find the details for those 2 shows, and also pay-per-view if you can't make it in person. But yeah, I'm excited, man. You're 43, Brian, but you've achieved so much in life. And above all, mate, we didn't get to dive into it. We've been going 2 hours, but you're such an amazing family man as well. Like, and that's been something I've taken a leaf out of, because it's easy to be a twat. It's easy to have wife and kids and not be a husband and a father.
Sure.
And watching you be an amazing husband and amazing father has been very inspirational for myself. The business you've done, the YouTube, the success in Strongman. I pretty much just copied you. I've always just been like behind you. It's a couple
awesome,
of steps behind. So I've run
yeah.
it from me personally. Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you for
it,
being
man.
such an amazing,
No, that means a lot, dude.
an amazing person that's been a massive inspiration for myself, who then has a knock-on effect to me, who then I have a knock-on effect. Again, it's just
Big
like
time.
it's a snowball effect of inspiring people
Yeah, that's
down the
awesome.
line. So thank you, Brian. And thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
With that, brother.
appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, man. Right, and guys, that is it with Mr. Brian Shaw. That was fascinating. I honestly, 2 hours has gone by so fast. I could probably spend another 2 hours sitting here talking to Brian, but we have an eating challenge to get to very quickly. So we're going to wrap it up here. Anything you've heard, any Brian's products, his book, his events, head over to shawstrength.com and go follow him at Shaw Strength.
At Shaw Strength, yeah.
That's pretty much it for
YouTube
everything.
is Shaw
YouTube,
Strength,
all
all
at
that.
Shaw Strength. So yeah, thank you for listening, guys. I hope you're taking something away from that. And yeah, go out and be great. What do we say, Brian?
Be great. Go out and be great.
Go out and be great.
Love it.
Big love.